This meeting is being recorded.
Good morning and welcome to the autopsy of her healing, evolving resiliency. Happy Friday to you all. It's Friday, what is this, the third Friday of the new year? I think we are. Is that where we
Yes,
are
it is.
already? Oh my God.
Yep.
Yes. So good morning to you all. I am Iris Denise Owens, your host, and on the line with me is my beautiful sister and co-host. Good morning, honey bunny.
Good morning, honey bunny. Stephanie Deani Green. Good morning,
How,
everyone.
how are you?
I'm great. I am great. A little crazy, but great. I know it's
Yes.
January 21st, 2022. I feel like it's already, December 31st, 2022.
Ah,
Like,
what? Say it again. Say it again. You feel like it's
I
what?
feel like it's December 31st, 2022. It's like this so much has happened in these past 3 weeks. I feel like we done did a year already. Okay. So that's a
And
good sign that the year's gonna go slow. Okay.
yes. And so I am totally in agreement with you. We have talked several times this week. So, hey guys, I've been talking about it. Steph's been talking about it. Some things have been going on in the world, in our individual lives, and things collectively. And so today we really are we're going to kind of settle in the my cape is torn, right?
Yeah, that was
My
S is
S,
shredded.
my S is broken. My S is zigzag. So superwoman, sane woman, or whatever, a strong woman, steady woman, all those S's for us right now. We're gonna talk about this, our capes. And Steph and I laugh all the time about our little capes because women, we wear capes. We got this little
Yes, we do.
superwoman cape. We sling it
Uh-huh.
on every day. We're
Yes,
like,
we
I'm
do.
ready. I got it.
We're going
Right.
out there to slay. We're going to make it happen.
Right. We're going out. We are boss women and we're going out to slay it today. We're going to kill it today. I just
And
want you all.
bring it home, clean it, and cook it.
Uh, yes, that part, Steph, that part, especially as the entrepreneur, because if we don't kill it,
Exactly.
we don't eat it. So,
That's right.
right,
That's
we
right.
have to go out and slay it, right? Well, first we have to strategize of how we're going to catch it. Then we got to slay it, right? Then we have to, clean it all up,
That's right.
behead it, fillet it, take the bones out,
Uh-huh.
whatever you
Take
got
the
to do
scales
to
off,
it.
whatever.
Yeah, take the guts out of it, whatever it is we got to do to it before we can eat it. Then we literally, fry it up, put it, what they say, put it in the frying pan, fry it up. What's that song, that slogan?
I know, but yeah,
Oh, she can
I
bring home the bacon, fry
take
it up in
it
the pan,
in the pan.
and never, never, ever let you forget you're a man, whatever that is.
No, no, never
Listen,
get you forget that you're a woman.
oh, you're a woman. Okay, there you go. See, so guess what? That slogan, we all sang that slogan many years ago, right? And we were like,
Yep.
yes, I am woman, hear me roar. You know what? This woman, I'm speaking for Iris Denise Holmes Owens. This woman, I'm tired. I don't know about y'all, but I am mentally, emotionally exhausted. And like Steph said,
January 21st.
it's January
January
21st. What is it, 21st? It is the
Yes,
21st, right?
today's the
Hold on.
21st. Yes.
Yes, it's January 21st. I'm tired.
Yeah, I am not your superwoman.
I,
And
I'm not even my own superwoman right now. I am not
first of
even my
all,
own
we don't have to
superwoman.
we don't have to be superwomen. That's the one thing that we have forgotten. We are Mother Earth.
Yes.
I mean, we are created. We make life.
Yes.
Life comes through us. And it's like we all those things that we have put on ourselves, literally we have put on ourselves.
Yes.
And what we really need to do is take a step back and try to, like, not try to, but we need to take some of those labels off of ourselves other than what we truly are. Because
Yes.
we're great without any of those other things.
You're correct.
And we do. We added on, oh, we gotta do this, we gotta do this. I mean, it's like we're so overly stimulated and everything we gotta do. We gotta be doing something every second of the day. We gotta take care of this, we gotta do this, we gotta do this. And not really. You know,
Not really.
sometimes, like, we need to learn to micromanage. You have to give your children chores as they get older, things that they're responsible for.
Right.
If you're married, you have a mate, you have to let him be responsible for things. You do not have to do everything, and you have
Right.
to let them do it the way that they will do it also,
Right.
because you want things done. You will drive yourself crazy like that. And at the
Right.
end of the day, at the end of the situation, by the time that child is on his way to college, you look like you have been dragged, literally,
Yeah.
because you did everything for everybody. And not to mention, the more you do, the more they depend on you to do.
Yes.
So when you've been doing everything. The day you come home and say, "I'm not doing nothing," they looking at you with the side eye. Oh, now you're the worst mother ever. Now you're the worst wife ever. But
Right.
you have spoiled them to this point that you need not do anything. I got you. Well, who has you? God has you, but
Right.
you have to have you too.
Right. But
Okay.
many times we forget that God has us. We forget. And I'm
Oh,
speaking for
absolutely.
myself because we go through, I know for me, when things happen in life, right? You are, as you should be, you have a sense of responsibility, a sense of accountability for things that you're responsible for in life and things that you have to do and you must do. But as we go through life, of course, as you just said, we add so many layers onto our lives. So,
Mhm.
you know, in our session last week, in our podcast last week with Milton Brockton, who said, women, you guys have your whole lives planned out at, I think we said
That's number
5.
five.
Right? And he is not wrong
Yeah,
about that.
he's not wrong at all. He's
He's
not
not
wrong at
wrong
all.
because we do, even if we, like I said, even if we're not certain, when we may not even have words to articulate it, but we've
Mhm.
already envisioned and put into set mindset what it is that we believe we were put on this earth to do, and this is how I'm going to do it.
Yep.
However, we forget to fall back
Mhm.
sometimes because
Mhm.
so many times, I mean, and as all human beings, right? The goal in life is to move forward, is to evolve, is to learn, is to be educated, is to bless, is to teach, is to help, is to, but so many times we forget that we still don't have control.
Mhm. That's true.
Hence the reason that when something in life happens, so many things rock our world, right?
Mhm.
And so
That's
then
right.
we begin to worry. We worry. And
Mhm.
I know, worrying does not add anything to one's life. I don't care how
It
smart
doesn't.
you are, how much money
Right.
you have, how educated you are, what degrees are on your wall, where you live, your address, the titles behind your name or letters behind your name. Worrying does not solve anything.
No,
Now,
because the outcome is the outcome.
right. And so that is the part that sometimes I believe becomes daunting. As I shared with you earlier on yesterday, our national president of our beloved Delta Sigma Theta, President Cheryl Hickman, unfortunately passed away. We had a prayer last night from National, and our Sora Vashti, our Bishop, Bishop Vashti actually did a prayer, and what she spoke, and she, of course she's a bishop, and so it was more that she was preaching, she was teaching us, um, but something she said became very evident to me, is because I think it's sometimes we need the wake up call. And she acknowledged that, yes, this hurts, that we've lost a person, but always that God does know best, right? And that life goes on in spite of the fact that Sora Hickman's life has transitioned to be with God.
It
But
always
something
does.
she said was that for all that Sora Hickman did for life, is life is not about how long we live, because that is the
Mhm.
first thing we will say, right? If someone passes away, especially if a child passes away, we say, oh my God, gone way too soon, way too long. When Betty White passed away at 99 the other day, we're like, oh my God, Betty White died. Well, we don't have, um, infinite life. We don't have eternal life. Well, not on this earth, right?
Nope,
We
not on
we
her.
are we are
Nope,
going to pass away. We are
no.
human. But what Bishop Vashti said was that it is not about the length of a person's life, it's the vitality and the impact
Quality.
and
Hmm.
quality of a person's life. And that
Absolutely.
is what we forget so much, that I think,
Hmm.
or sometimes we think that that means something so different, because we're so busy chasing fame, fortune, money, title, entitlement, things, material, cars, houses, people, even though we say,
Romance.
right, even though we say we're not doing that, but we
Hmm.
are. And
Hmm.
then these things, no matter how much we love something or we love a person, life is filled with disappointment.
Oh,
Life is
absolutely.
filled with brokenheartedness.
Hmm.
And what I'm learning for myself is that I think sometimes I forget that life will will come with failure. I think we, even though we talk about it, but we forget that it really does happen. Because if we didn't, we wouldn't be caught off guard every time something happens. But
Mm.
yet we are. Does that make sense? You understand what I'm saying? We
Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying.
we
I mean,
forget.
like, you only learn like that when you live in this life long enough, you live in this world long enough, you will have things that will rock your world. But I
Yes,
think that at the same time, we have to learn, and I've learned, like, we because it comes to the fact that, like, we need to be centered. We're so not in tune with ourselves, and
yes,
when you're not in
yes,
tune with yourself, that's when things really rock your world.
yes,
Because what
yes,
happens is, because when things rock your world, it's not you in the picture, it's you and other people and other things.
yes, yes,
And that's the problem, because we're looking for those other things is important to us. Like we was talking about sometimes, like how our children act. And it's
yes,
about how they act and how they make you feel, us feel,
yes,
not
right,
about them. But in reality, and it's not easy, but it's like we have to work on things that's about how we make us feel, ourselves feel, not
correct,
other outside sources.
right,
Because and that even comes down to your children. I mean, when you see people that, like my mom, you have numerous children, and you want love from those children. A baby just cries for you, like, and just only wants you for like a nanosecond for six
yes,
months.
yes,
Let you go back to work and get to the babysitter and other people take
right,
care of that baby. You go get the baby, they crying for them.
right. Because there are other
So it's like,
factors now introduced into their world.
exactly. So
Yes,
you're looking. Oh, I want something to love me. No, you have to love yourself. You know what I mean? You have to, and people leave this earth truly and never have truly fallen in love with themselves.
well, I think you have to
And that
but you have to accept the fact that you were created in love, because God so loved the world that
he
he
gave his only
gave
begotten
his
son.
only begotten son. I am
Exactly.
I am
And that's
starting
and
to
that's why, but that's
realize,
why we are love.
right,
We
we
are
are
like,
loved. No matter
we
if nobody else on this earth ever
exactly,
loved you, even though
exactly.
it's hard to
Right. We
now
are
don't get
enough.
me wrong, we need love, because
Of
we
course,
are we
but
are
we
creatures,
are enough though. But then you have to
right? We
realize
are
too, like
enough.
we are enough. People,
Yeah,
like, I mean, I know, like, you have like the most suicides around the holiday time, but some people don't have anyone
right,
because people
right,
feel like everyone should have someone. Everyone's not going to get married. Everyone's not going to have children.
right.
That's just like the way it is. Some people, I like a friend of mine's, passed away that I grew up with, and I was so heartbroken to hear about this like a couple of weeks ago.
Right,
And it was like I just thought about him. I can honestly say I haven't seen him in years, but
right,
he was really, really nice man. And
Right.
I don't think that, and he probably had some challenges, but he never got married, never had a family.
Right.
And I think it's something that he really wanted. I know a lot of people wanted to do that and just never did that, you know, because they never found the right one, time ran out or whatever. Because I think that you have, well, I think as long as you're open to that, but some people close themselves off to that also,
Right.
you know,
Right.
and because, oh, like I'm old now, or I'm not, you know, I should have did it when I was young, whatever the situation
Or
is.
because
But
they've been hurt or disappointed. And that's what I mean
yeah,
about
yeah, the disappointment,
life.
but that goes back to like all that when you think about that is all under the umbrella of that we don't realize as a people that we're enough. That
Right.
always goes, it really goes back to that. And I mean, and that's a hard thing because of all the challenges that we have in the world that like, especially now with Instagram, everything, the likes. Oh, everybody gotta like it. Like,
Yes.
really? What
Right.
about you
And
just
and
liking
we live
yourself?
out, and some of us live our life on the approval, because
Of
really
course.
that's why social media, as great as it is, if you put your stock in it like that to measure yourself against the rest of the millions, billions of people on this planet, God, I pray for you.
Yeah,
Because even when you're comparing yourself to any other person, that's a dangerous zone. The
it
only
is
person
very dangerous.
we should compare ourselves against is what God expects of us and the
That's
person
right.
that we look at in the mirror every day.
Every
Like,
single day.
I should
I'm
compare
looking at the
myself
man
to
in
the
the
person
mirror.
I was yesterday and to the
That's right.
person I am today. Like,
That's
whatever
right.
I did yesterday that I thought I could have done better, then let me
Mhm.
work on that for me. But we should not look at all these people that are on Instagram and all these people that are on social media platforms telling us, oh my God, this is how I made this millions of dollars. This is how I kept my marriage. This is how, because you know what's so interesting about it? And this is not a knock at anybody. We're human. We are
That's right.
flawed creatures. And look at
Exactly.
all these people, some of these people who've been living their lives in the boldness and social media and showing us the best sides of their lives.
Hmm.
Now they're coming back and showing us the ugly side of their lives, the part that is the real life part, the
Hmm.
part where the hurt and the pain and the work has to
Hmm.
be done to
Hmm.
survive. And
Hmm.
now you don't know how many people, unfortunately, and it's not their fault per se, but how many people now are stumbling over you, right?
Exactly. That's
Because
right.
we as people, and which we know we're not supposed to do, but we do it, which by note, and we're all guilty of it, message. This is just me talking. I'm not preaching to anybody, but that's what idolatry becomes, because we
Hmm.
forget and we start
Hmm.
putting our stock in everything
The
else
man.
instead of our creator. And this is,
Exactly.
and I didn't mean for this to be sound like it's a preaching today, but I know that for the things that have happened in my life, for the places that
It was
I've been
definitely a teaching moment.
in my life, I know that it was nobody but God who has protected me, who have
Mhm.
saved me, who has
That's right.
moved me out of the way of danger when I didn't even have
Mhm.
enough sense to do it for myself, who blessed me when I didn't even have enough sense to know that I needed to bless or to be
Mhm.
blessed, or to just that I was in a situation and needed to speak out loud, not to
Mhm.
complain, not to do it, and spoke something out loud, and someone God put in place that blessed me, that
Mhm.
had no reason to,
That's right.
And I'm going, that's not me.
Mhm.
That's that's that is everything about God. And
Exactly.
so
You're just
that's what I'm saying. My cape is tattered, it's torn, it's ripped, it's flying in the wind with all these little straggly ends on it. And these are the moments that I find myself where I have to I got to sit down. I got to find that. I got to recenter, refocus,
Right.
regroup.
You got to
I can
meditate.
only do
You got
that
to
with
meditate.
him. I can only do
Exactly.
that with
That's
him.
right. Yeah. You gotta just be, you just gotta sit and be,
Yeah,
and
just be.
we as a people, we do not know how to do that. You look
No.
at these kids, like we're now, because now I gotta say with COVID, we have set down a lot. But prior to COVID, the kids were in every sport. They were here, they were here. The kids didn't even have time to sit down and just be, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And then you're running from
Yes.
here to there, and you just need that time just to be. Let me just figure it out. Let me just like think. Let me hear. Only in peace and quiet can you hear God's voice. And he does speak to you.
Yes, he
And like
does.
you said, we cannot keep putting our stock in people. Like the most disgusting thing that happened with that minister spitting in his hand and putting all over
Oh my
his
God.
brother's face. It was absolutely disgusting. You see people trying to, oh no, like it was okay and all this kind of stuff. It was horrible.
It was horrible
And the thing,
because one, you are not Jesus. Only
exactly. And
Jesus
you're not
spit on
Jesus.
the
He's not
ground
blind.
and put
And it
it
was
in,
just
put it
disgusting.
on the blind man's eyes, and he saw.
Yes,
Only Jesus, not
exactly,
man. And that's
exactly.
where I think, and I'm sorry, I know I sound like I'm being a
And
fanatic
no, no,
today,
no, no. I mean,
but
you're
it
just like
is, I
you're
just
like it's
feel
a
like
lesson.
we get lost, we get caught up
You
in
don't want to
all
hear it.
the
Don't want to
stuff
tune
we
in.
see with our human eyes, right? And we all
No,
got
no,
to take
but
a
not
step
that.
back.
We want to follow, but we want to follow the crowd. You know what I mean? Well, I don't care what church you're head of and all this kind of stuff. Oh, because
Yes,
it doesn't matter. I'm not
right.
following the crowd.
No,
God gave me my own mind. What's wrong
right,
is wrong, and what's right is right. And
right,
I'm not following no one down into the rabbit hole. If
right,
I go into the rabbit hole on my own, that's something different.
right,
But you're not going to drag me down one.
right. And
And
like
the
I
thing of
said,
it,
if you're
it's
in
not
the
good.
rabbit hole too far,
Mhm.
if I can't stay at the top of the hole and reach down to help you back up, I need to step back, because otherwise we're both in the rabbit hole and I can't
Mhm.
help you and you can't help me. And so it is just all that's going on. We're in the
Yes,
beginning of a new year. And like I said, I went to a training yesterday. We were talking about this earlier. I went to a training yesterday, and the title of the training was New Year, New You. We had a speaker come in. She was excellent. She was a keynote, and then she did a continuing education course in the afternoon. So really had a chance to spend time with this person, which was great. But she ventured to say, "New year, new you," and she said, the advertisements for that is always typically a white male, right, who's buffed and looking healthy, which then is to inspire us all to make these new year resolutions. And we know it, we've all done it. I'm joining the gym, I'm going to eat better, I'm going to she laughed, she said, people go, I just ate meat yesterday, but I'm going to become a vegan. Yeah, like you just don't jump up and go, I'm become a vegan. You got to work your way to it. But we're going to do all these things. But she ventured to say, why does there have to be a new me? I can improve me with proper planning, but the current me is enough. If there are things that I want to work on, then make a plan, make goals to do that. But don't toss out, because you cannot. The truth is, we can't every year, we can't just throw everything that we've been through life away and be like, oh, in 2022, there's a new me. I'm going to start a new thing. Because guess what? We all know most of that, the first 3 weeks of the year, you join the gym. They're saying people go 5 months. I venture to say people go 3 weeks and they quit.
I meant to say, I know people that side that don't go at all.
Oh, that part too.
Yeah, I have a quote that says you have to work on being a better version of yourself each and every day, because
Yes,
you're already here. You already exist. You could be
right,
the best version of yourself. You
right.
know what you want. You have an idea of what you want to be, how you want to see yourself, not necessarily
Correct.
how people. How do I want to see myself?
So
I don't.
yeah,
I haven't done a New Year's resolution
neither
probably
have
in the
I.
last 20 years. I
Neither
do
have
not do
I.
New Year's resolutions. You know what I mean?
No.
It's just like I'm gonna do this, this, and this. It happens to be the 2 months. If it's the next year, but it's not a New Year's resolution, it just happens to fall on this the next year. You know,
Yes.
but you have to say like, look, this is where I want to see myself. How whatever that may be. You know, like we have no patience for anything anymore. Everything has to be instant. You can't
It's
like, oh, let me work out and get my glutes up. No, I can go get somebody to put something in my butt, and now all of a sudden I have a butt. You know, I could go
right.
over here and get my stomach flat because I got liposuction. They can take the
Right.
fat out of my stomach. Now I'm
Right.
flat. You know what I mean?
Right.
Okay,
Or
so
I go get
my
Botox because I don't
yeah.
want to see the wrinkles in my in on my skin, which is your
No,
wrinkles.
I want to look like I'm, 25 and I'm 70 with all this filler on my face that you look crazy because
Well,
you
you
do
know
look
what's so
crazy. I'm
funny?
sorry. Oh, with the
Yesterday,
new faces. I looked at Lionel Richie last night on they did the commercial for, the show. What's the show that he's on? And I was
that
like,
who's on?
Lionel, really, dude?
I'm sorry, I didn't
Lionel
hear what.
Richie. I
Oh,
said I was looking at they had the commercial for the new show, the singing show
oh, I
um,
don't know.
that they
Lionel
find on
Richie and his
YouTube.
wife
I
look
can't
like
remember.
both their faces. I that is a scary. If I
But he's not
Lionel
married.
Richie's
I
face
mean,
and
he's
his
not
wife's face look like somebody literally like
his
took their skin
ex-wife because he's
off.
not married.
Oh, not wait
He's
a
not
minute.
married.
Okay, well,
Lionel Richie, Lionel Richie, the Commodores. Lionel Richie from the lead singer
so
from
did
the
he?
Commodores.
Okay, never mind. Scratch that. I
Yeah,
was going
yeah.
to
No, he
say,
has like, but he's been doing stuff. But this is the like I can still recognize him. You know what I'm saying? But last night, like he's been on the show American Idol. He's one of the hosts on American Idol,
okay,
and they were showing, see, like they were showing a commercial for the new season, and I'm like, oh my God, does he not look like before? It was very tasteful. You know what I'm saying? You
oh,
can
I'm
tell he's been
sorry.
doing.
It's not Lionel Richie. It's Smokey Robinson and his wife. That's whose
Oh
face.
yeah,
That
Smokey.
Smokey,
Okay, Smokey, and Smokey looks
Smokey,
good compared to
Smokey.
Lionel Richie.
Yeah, but Smokey's face and his wife's face, the
Oh, they look. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm
yeah,
not. I mean, I'm just trying. You gotta see. Like, I know Smokey almost 90 years old.
yeah, but
Smokey
his
has been
face
getting
is
it
snatched
forever.
like he's
He looks horrible.
25, and that's a scary thing.
No,
I
yeah,
think
like
also
so his face looks like he's 85 with a snatched face. That's what it looks like.
our challenge in life, I think, is that, and
And with the black hair, no gray, jet
we've
black.
talked about this before too. When we were growing up and generations before us, we were, we went through the ugly stage in life, like the ugly duckling. You all remember
Yeah.
that story,
Ugly
right? Where
duckling. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
ugly duck the
Like
ugly
the hormone
duckling
stage. Yep.
turned into a beautiful swan, right?
Swan.
But the
Exactly.
ugly duckling had to transform into the beautiful swan, as just as a
Mhm.
caterpillar turns
Caterpillar
into
to the beautiful butterfly.
to the beautiful butterfly, right? But we know we have cut that out in this world, in
Literally,
this society,
literally.
because teenage girls, oh my God, I can't have acne. That's a part of the human process, right? That your face, your skin is going to go berserk, and you may have pizza face or whatever the case. Oh, I don't like what my nose looks like. This is
Your
what
nose
who
job
you were born
early.
as. Now I can't be ugly. Guess what? Ugly serves a purpose in our life, because ugly gives you the truth of who you are if you're willing to admit it. And ugly
Mhm.
is not ugly of the, oh my God, you're hideous in your looks. Ugly could be our spirit. Ugly could be
Oh,
how we
absolutely.
think. Ugly could be how we treat other people. Ugly could be how we treat ourselves. Ugly is a necessary tool in life in order to get to the beauty. In order, without ugly, you don't do any work. And it is, we're, like you said, we're an instant society. We don't even microwave. What's the thing we use now? The air fryer. We gonna air fry it. We gonna we gonna nutrify. We gonna do all it, but we will not take time to do the process anymore.
No. But you ever see that? It's an old movie called The Picture of Dorian Gray. And matter of fact, it was Angela Lansbury. I think that was her first movie that she ever did. Lady from Murder, She Wrote. And she was like 17 at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And he is this, it takes place like in the 1800s. And he is this handsome young bachelor, very nice looking. And, as through the years, people like, you just like never age. And he had started doing really horrendous things in his life. He's killed people, all these kind of things. And he just still always looked the same. 35 years later, he looks the same. What happened was they did a portrait of him. And the portrait started aging, but he didn't.
Oh, I think we talked about that before. You talked about
this and it's like, but the portrait showed his soul.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it showed.
Right.
And one day, like 20-something years later, the artist who painted the portrait came to visit him and said he wanted to look at the portrait. And he didn't want because he moved it out of his living room, put it up in the attic. He snuck up there anyway. When he caught him up there, he killed him.
Yeah.
And you can see the portrait was like horrible. And eventually when he died at the end of the movie, he looked like the portrait. And the portrait looked like he did when they painted it. Yeah. Like some people, like their souls are like so ugly. And it will show up. Even with all, literally, even with all the plastic surgery and things that you're doing, that you think you're hiding all those things, it's going to show up. But you look at all the things that are happening to people with the breast implants and having major problems with that. One of the singers, she has a show coming on, but she went through all these issues with her butt. And she wants to talk about what plastic surgery did to her. But it's like, what happened to just loving yourself the way you are? I think it has gotten out of control. Huh?
Just being. Yeah, I mean, I remember as a younger child, right? As you can see, I have had these lovely rings on my neck my whole entire life. And I remember when I was younger, I was teased for it. And my godmother, who is my mother's second oldest sister, at some point in time in my life, and it was when I was younger, because I would wear turtlenecks, I would try to hide this, I would do everything, to not have people bring attention to it. Even my family teased me about it, ringy neck, chicken neck. Oh, it was okay,
right. Family knows how to tease anybody else.
And so my aunt said to me one day, she said, your neck, right, is regal. She says, I want you to look up the women in Africa and see that their rings on their neck represents royalty and the level of, where they stand, their hierarchy in life. And I was like, what? And after I did that, man, I was like walking around like this now. And I never have hidden my neck anymore. Right? I'm 56 years old, soon to be 57 years old. And now I can see these rings, but yes, the skin is it's aging, but I'm aging, right? Exactly. You cannot live in this world without aging. We get so confused with the fact that I want to live forever. Well, nothing lives forever.
Nope, right? That doesn't at all.
Everything gets old. Everything gets old. Exactly. Everything ages. Exactly. If you have life and breath, you are going to age. And if you were not aging, then you're artificial, which means you're not alive.
Exactly. That one movie, Death Be Unto Her. It's an old movie. They filmed it.
Yes. Death Becomes Her. It was Death Becomes Her. Exactly. Yes.
Mel Streep and Goldie Hawn.
I want to live this life, and I want to live it with the
Whoa.
abundance that I've been
Exactly.
given, right? And I'm thankful to be here because nobody goes to sleep at night thinking, God, I'm good. Even though we pray it. Now, don't get me wrong, we pray it. Like what did we pray when we were kids? Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I should die before I wake, please, Lord, Lord, I give you my soul to take. Yes. But as you get older, what do we fear most in life? God, I'm going to die. I'm going to die. Yes, we are going to die. Yesterday, Bishop Vashti said the same thing. She says, we will die with the dreams not fulfilled, things that we said we were going to do that we didn't get done. Whatever it is, right?
You never get it done. You never get it done.
A rabbi on the Today Show a couple of weeks ago, they were having this, they were doing a faith week, and they had different ministers and preachers and everything from all different aspects of the religious world. And and she said, people are always talking about they want perfection. We're looking for perfection in life. She says, so let me just say this. When it becomes perfect, that means it's over, because only God is perfection.
That's right.
That was like, oh my God, that's a message, right? Because that's true. We keep trying to find perfection. We are not perfect. We are not perfect. We were not created perfectly, right?
But how boring! How boring. I think that it would be beautiful if we all knew that we are love and put more love in the world. But outside of that, it's nice that we look different, we speak different, we have different types of hair, heights, not one person has the same fingerprint. Right. You know what I mean? It's like we're unique. And what's wrong with that? Now, I tell you, everybody has the same hairstyle. The white girls, the Spanish girls, the Asian girl, everybody because they all wear the same wig. It's really nobody's different anymore. And it's really, really sad. Everybody gets the same kind of nose job, same lips, the same,
well, we no longer know how to be comfortable in our own skin. And we're constantly trying to wear someone else's skin. We're constantly trying to walk in other people's shoes. We're constantly trying to be in the image of another human being. And we are not that.
No, not at all.
We're not that. Like I said, if you really want to see how that doesn't work out, try putting all of your, raise some children. Because that is what we think, right? We think we birthed you, we carried you for 9 months, and you are going to be a doctor. You are going to be a lawyer. You are going to be the school teacher. And then your kids grow up and then go, I don't want to even go to college. You're going, what? Yeah, exactly. What do you mean you don't want to go to college? They hate school to the fact that you're fighting with them every day. You are getting out of here. You got to go to school. You must leave this house and you must go to school, right? So it is a thing. We're human. We go through these changes in life. It's cycles, right?
Yep.
But it's not. I mean, it's like sometimes I feel like, and I'm talking to myself. I'm preaching to myself. Because if you know God's word, he already lays it out. He tells us this is like having a baby, right? Women go, oh, I'm afraid of being in labor. That's going to hurt. God already told you that part.
Exactly.
You shall bring forth children in pain. He didn't say something.
Every bone in your body is breaking.
He didn't give you a level of pain. He didn't say on a scale of 1 to 10, where would you like to choose? No.
Exactly.
He said, shall bring forth children in pain.
But even now, people are doing something with that. Now they give you choices for C-section. I know somebody that something was coming up and they decided to have their C-section.
Yes, plan the date.
plan the date for the C-section. There's
Absolutely.
no pain. You don't have to stretch out your vagina. They got all these things in their mind. It goes back. It's made to stretch. It's made to
Yeah,
do
but
that.
but your body is now altered. You went under major surgery when you didn't
Exactly.
have to.
Excuse me. Yeah, exactly.
You know, when you didn't have to. You could have had natural childbirth, right? And you could have had a great delivery, because that is the one place in life. God did not lie about that part. And God didn't probably say this part, but the one thing in life, children, you bring them forth in pain. But the minute you see, you touch, you breathe, you smell, you're like, what pain?
It's true.
What pain? What? That hurt. And it obviously we don't remember it, because if you've done it more than once,
exactly. I literally pushed my first out for 3 hours and 45 minutes because my uterus is tilted to try to get her out. They had to use a vacuum to get her out. But with my second, he said we got to do a C-section. So I've had experience of both.
So have I.
Not happy about the C-section at all, because I was like, I wanted to choose his date. Like I just, whatever. And they said, oh, we're gonna take. He's due on June 18th. We're gonna take him on June 4th. But he came on May 25th on his own.
There you go.
Because
why? We don't control that part.
But you heal so much faster. Let me tell you, if I had the choice of doing vaginal or C-section, it'd be vaginal all day long.
All day long.
I healed so much faster when I had my daughter, even after pushing for 3 hours and 45 minutes, than having that C-section. It's just like our bodies were made to do that.
Yes.
And guess what? It's okay. You know what I mean? If you want to bring forth life.
And even when the times that you may have to, when you need help, but don't, and this is not about pregnancy plans or anything like that. But I remember the midwife said to me when I had my son, she asked in the room, she said, who in here has ever had major surgery? Okay. I don't think anyone raised their hand. She said, who in here has ever had an appendectomy or, whatever? I raised my hand. So she said, okay, do you mind sharing? I told her no, because I have a high tolerance for pain. I stayed at home for 3 days, not knowing that my appendix was rupturing. I thought I had food poisoning. So, went to the hospital. Long story short, the doctor pushes, I'm quiet. The nurse is like telling the doctor, she's so stoic, because I wasn't saying anything. And when the doctor says I have to do one final exam, and he pushes down on my, on my lower belly where your appendix is. And then he said it like 3 times, I'm going to let go. And I kept saying, okay, let go. Well, when he let go, I'm sure the people in the hospital 2 counties away heard me scream. And so then the nurse was like, oh, she does know. Because everything before then, I was just like, they were like, does that hurt? Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it does hurt. But my point to that was, the midwife said, when you go into labor, rather than going to the hospital and immediately saying, give me the epidural, give me the drugs, she goes, see how much you can really bear, right? Change your mindset about, yes, it's going to be painful. It's going to hurt. She says, but I want you to realize that when you take these drugs and you take this epidural, it prolongs the birthing process. That was all she had to say. I'm like, oh no, we're not doing that, because
we're gonna get this bad boy out.
Right, we're gonna do this process as it has been given. This is the task at hand, and I am up for the challenge. I am going to do it. Unfortunately, my son was caught in the umbilical cord. So I ended up having a C-section anyway.
Oh,
right?
Wow.
Then when I had my daughter, right? Then the doctor then said, when I got pregnant, she says, well, you could go ahead and schedule your C-section. I said, why would I want to do that?
I know that's
She
right.
says, she said, because you've already had one and there's probably scar tissue. I said, but do you know there's scar tissue? No, but there
Uh-huh.
probably is. And the best bet would be, I said, well, guess what? We're not. I'm not going to
I
do
know
that.
that's right.
And
Hmm.
I was considered a high risk because I was 38 years old. So of course the doctor was like, oh, you're like a senior pregnant lady. You should really think about, not doing this way. I
Really?
my yes, I was pregnant.
I was 38. My doctors never said that to me.
My doctor tried to get me to have a C-section, to
But they never
schedule
said I
it
was
and
a
everything.
senior. They never said I was high
No, no,
risk. They never
she
said any of
did.
that stuff.
She did.
Really?
And then it's so
Wow.
crazy because my water broke at midnight on well, it was July 4th. My water broke at midnight, which was now July 5th. We got in the car, we went to the hospital. Isabella Jules Owens came into this world at 3:24 a.m.
Wow.
Okay? But just imagine if I had said, okay, I'm going to trust this doctor and say, and I'm nothing against doctors.
No,
I'm
no,
just
no.
saying this body was given to me by the creator. He knows
Exactly.
everything about it.
That's
Stuff
right.
I
That's
don't
right.
know, he knows. So I'd rather trust him. And I was in a hospital. So if something had gone wrong, then they would have done what they needed to do. But my point
Mhm.
to this is that there's a process to everything. And a lot of
Yes.
times in this life right now, we try to circumvent these natural processes to get to what we think is the end goal much faster, without pain, without hurt, without discomfort, but more than likely without inconvenience.
Hmm. Hmm.
You know,
This is true.
it is shocking to me, and it's everybody's choice. People who don't have children because why, they said, I'm not messing up my body. That's a thing. And it's
Mhm.
still
Oh
a
yeah.
thing.
Oh, it's a big thing.
It's been a thing. I mean, there's been a thing. It's always been a thing. Women who say, don't ask me my age. I don't tell my age. That's
Yeah,
disrespectful.
that's a big thing.
This girl right here is 56 years old, and I know that I can be standing next to a 23-year-old and I'm going, baby,
Yeah, so
I'm
much longer to go
sorry.
in life already,
Right.
right?
I
No.
really I want to talk to you because I want to know why at 23, what happened in life that you're
Mhm.
already looking as though you're 32, or
Yeah,
you've
sometimes
yeah,
40. Yeah.
right,
Some of the high school kids. You look at these high school
right.
girls and you're like,
And
wow.
it's not just your body. We're not just
Mhm.
talking, I'm talking mentally. You have been so taxed, right? And that's the thing again. We are struggling with so many things. Mental health is a real thing, y'all.
Oh, it's real. I
It's
mean,
a
how
real
in high
thing.
school that you already have no edges and it's all this stuff, but all of it goes back to mental health and how you feel about yourself. People are putting
Yes.
band-aids on their feelings by hiding behind all these wigs with the glue and the nails and the this. I mean, I'm not saying those things are nice. I mean, I personally don't wear wigs or fake nails, but it's like it's a time and place for everything. And I do personally feel high school is not the time or place for that, because they don't have jobs. You going to school full time. So who's
Right.
paying for that? It's your mother or your
Right.
father. You know what I mean? Your grandparents. Somebody's paying for that. But why are you getting these children so early caught up in this thing? Because, okay, they're on Instagram. Oh, mommy, I need the long hair like everybody else. You're crying because they want to fit in. What about taking them for therapy so they could understand that this is not how you want to start out living your life? If
Right.
you're 15, 16, 17, you're doing all this stuff to your body already. What do you have to look forward to when you get in your 20s,
But
your 30s, your 40s, your 50s? And it's really, really sad. Their self esteem is so beaten down
right.
so early on.
Right.
It's like they have nowhere to go and they're just dogging their body
Right.
already.
But
You
we
know what I
don't
mean?
under but the problem with that is that no one looks at it that when we're as human beings, if I'm constantly hiding behind stuff, whether it's a wig, it's makeup, it's whatever it is, if I'm hiding behind making money so that I can have flashy, shiny things. So that's the thing that I'm known for. Or even the person who's obsessed with constantly getting another degree, another letter, another this.
Mhm.
And whenever as human beings we use the things in front of us as the that's our representative, you have to ask what's going on with me, the person,
Exactly.
that makes
Definitely.
me think that I need all these things to be enough. And I'm not
Exactly.
saying there's nothing wrong with inspiring, that we were
No,
created to grow,
exactly.
to live, to
Yeah,
evolve, to be smart, to get
definitely.
to be. I get that part, but I'm talking about when that becomes your mission and you cannot understand that your mission may not always go as you in fact planned it out, because again, we are not the creators of our own lives. We think that
No, we're
we are,
not.
but we're really
No.
not.
And you're not going to get it done. And the thing is, though, but when you go back to these children, these high school children, that's a whole nother thing. You're starting them out so early on these things. And it's really, really sad. It's like by the time they get our age, I'm 57, they're not going to have no hair on their head. And it's like, they're not. You see it already. And it's like, wow. What I mean? You cannot do that to you. I mean, I've seen like the little girls, you're like six
Oh
and
yeah.
seven. And you
Yeah.
got the
Oh, do you
that's
remember? But you remember when we were growing up? That was a thing then, that even doctors had started telling parents to stop putting this the remember that what do you call it? Not artificial. Well, it was, the hair was not human hair then, it was synthetic hair, because they were
mhm.
saying a lot of these children were chewing on the hair. Do you remember that was a thing? And then
No,
the
no,
hair was getting into their intestines
oh, I do
and
remember. I do remember.
creating
Yeah,
all of these children having all these digestive and
domino situation, right? Yes, yes.
problems because they were chewing on this hair. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
so many times we put ourselves in situations where we shorten the length and goodness of our life for
Yeah,
the all in the name of beauty, or
looking
all in the
good.
name of looking good. That's why they say, hey, good young people make good corpse because you're
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's
You're
true.
real beautiful. People come and go, oh, she looks so good. I do not.
Yeah.
I hear y'all, please hear me. Don't, first of all, I don't want to be buried. So you will not have the opportunity to view me and say, oh my gosh, she looked good.
What
I
are you
don't
gonna?
want to
Well,
be viewed.
we got something. I don't know. I don't want to be buried either. I
I
don't
don't
know
want to
what I
be
want to.
viewed. I want to
Oh,
I want to be remembered
I
for
definitely am.
the
Yeah.
impact, positive impacts that I pray that I make in other people's lives and make positive imprints in this world as I live here. Like I do the assignment that God gave to me, and I mess it up so many times. Thank God
Hmm.
for grace and mercy.
Hmm.
But
Exactly.
I want to be known as, like I say all the time, it's great to have all these titles: mother, daughter, wife, accountant, entrepreneur, realtor, lawyer, doctor. Da, da, da. But in the end, guess what? God don't care, because God did not give us any of those titles.
Nope,
God
not at
gave you
all.
the title as his child,
Exactly.
as
Like I
his
was telling my
daughter,
kids, if
as
you
his
change, you
friend.
come here, you change one person's life, you've done your job.
Yes,
One
right.
person.
If you
One
taught
person.
someone to be able to see the goodness of themselves, uh,
One person.
you've done what you would. If you, bottom line is, people, love is really all we are seeking. Each and
Exactly. Because
every
we were
one of
made
us,
out of love. We are love. But
we are
some
love.
people, well, a lot of people, the world has lost its way because there's so much hatred in the world. It's so sad. But I want to tell
And
you a funny
hate,
story
and what,
about
but
when I,
hatred comes from what? Hatred comes from believing that somehow, some way, you wronged me. you
oh
you
yes, absolutely.
you whether it's you, the
It's your fault.
individual, you, your
It's your fault.
people, you, your culture, you, your kind, you, whatever, you
Mhm.
wronged me, and I'm going to do everything in my power to take it back from you and to punish you for
Mhm.
wronging me.
It's your fault. Oh, it's
That
your
is
fault.
not what God
Yeah,
created.
yeah, no, not at all. We
God
supposed to
did
all
not
feel the
create
lineage.
us Right.
Well, you look at the animals, all the different species. I mean, you have the ones that can, but when you look at a lot of those things, it's quite interesting how they, do live together. I mean, some of them are prey, don't get me wrong, but they still live together.
Yes.
Um, so it's really interesting. But I wanted to say something like funny when I was giving birth to my daughter.
Yes.
And I said that before, like I was, because I had to push her out for like 3 hours and 45 minutes. And you were talking about the epidural. So I didn't have any epidural in me. And so they bought the bar and put it across my bed so I could stand up, to give me, some leverage to get her out.
Come in.
And literally I was imagining the scene in Boomerang with Grace Jones when she was giving birth to the pure perfume bottle. That's
Yes.
what was in my
Oh
head.
boy. Yes.
Trying to get my daughter out of me. It was the funniest thing. And then my husband had the other end of the bar and it had pad on. They was like, bite down on the pad, bite down on the pad. And his hand got in the way and I bit his hand.
Lord, you bit his hand?
I bit his hand. It was because you can
You are
bite
not
the
a
ball.
nice patient.
I didn't know that his parent was in the way, but I have no epidural in me. Trying to get this child out, they have me sitting up in the bed with the bar across the bed, and his hand got. I guess he's helping hold the bar. The hand got in the way. My doctor came. He was like, "Get that bar out of here!" Look, it looked like the bar like you put weights on, that kind of bar.
Oh
And
yeah. Well, that was for you to be able to hold on to so that you could push. That's what
exactly.
they're
They were
trying
like,
to
"Get
get.
that
Yeah.
bar out of here! Get that bar out of here!" And he's like, "Lay down." He said, and at this point, he's like, "You're gonna get some epidural. Put some epidural." He said, "I gotta get the vacuum to get this baby out."
Oh
So
my gosh.
oh my gosh, she had the cone for a long time. It was so funny. And he said, "Stephanie," he said, "I won't use the vacuum once." He said, "I use it twice." He said, "But we can't get this baby out of here." He said, "We're gonna have to do a C-section." I was like, "Oh my God, no." Because now this is not a planned C-section. This is a C-section. I done stretched my muscles and you're gonna be jacked up when they cut then. And sure enough, he got that. He said, "Push." He got the vacuum, got her head out and pulled her out.
Right.
But yes, I was
Right.
like going with no epidural and all these things. But yeah, we
Like
have to
I
we have to
said,
look at within though. Really,
yeah.
when it all comes
Yeah,
down
we
to it,
do. And you
and
have
know
to
that we
find
are not
the blessing and the lesson and everything. And even though sometimes that's really
absolutely.
hard. And the
Mhm.
other and I think the biggest thing is that many times we have to realize we will not get an answer.
Yeah,
That's the other thing as human beings. Sometimes we want an answer. We want a why. We want the why answer. And sometimes we may not get it. Sometimes we may never
well,
get
I
it.
do think
Or
if you
sometimes we get
train
it
your
later.
mind, well, yeah, you'll get it when you're supposed to get it. If you
Yes.
if you quiet your mind and you like, I'm really trying to meditate more, and it makes such a big difference. And you could actually, you could hear God. It's your
Yeah.
conscious. You could hear, what's going on, and you could figure it. Like it makes you. It's like, oh, okay, now I get it. Now this is why it's happening.
Right.
It makes you understand. You
Right.
know, and I can tell you too. For me, I'm not afraid to die. Just after what happened, and I've been in situations where I've been in so much pain, I have begged God, take me now, literally.
Yeah.
And
Good.
when I saw the light, and last January, I was initially I was really upset, but then not even really upset, but I was like, okay, I had to, because the peace that I felt.
Mm-hmm.
So that peace was like, okay, I want to be here for the kids, and but hey, but if you do bring me back, I will be better. I will be more of me,
I
more
will pay
of
attention to
you
what you've
being.
been trying to say to me.
Exactly. Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
And so I burned my cake long. When that happened, my cake, I burnt the cake. Like we no longer
You
wear
had a
cakes
cake
with.
burning ceremony?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, absolutely, because we're not doing that anymore.
Yes.
Like so, I have to pace myself, and guess what? I'm still pacing myself,
Yeah.
and that's the way I will continue to live the rest of my life. When it's too much, I sit my little self down.
Right. You have to learn. We all have to learn how to recenter, to
Exactly.
reset sometimes. And
Mhm.
sometimes all the ripping and running,
Mm.
even though we think we're doing so much good,
Mhm.
you
Sometimes you run
can't,
in
you can't,
circles, really.
you can't do good if you're right, if you're chasing your tail,
Exactly.
right? Because you're not doing it.
Exactly.
You're not moving if you're just
Yeah.
chasing your tail.
Yeah.
And
You're
even
not
when
really
when
accomplishing
you're
all that you think that you are.
right, and if you become sick, you really
Mhm.
you lose more time if you become
That's
sick.
right.
And
That's
guess
right.
what?
You put yourself out of
If your
commission.
if your illness becomes where you end up dying, well, guess what? It's not going to get done anyway.
Exactly.
So we all
Because it
need
moves
to
on.
learn
Life
how to
moves on with or without you.
right. That's that part, right? Because life
Mhm.
doesn't stop because one of us dies,
Exactly. Like it's funny,
right?
people get so upset when people die. Like the whole thing is going on with Prince's estate right now because he didn't leave a will. Okay, so he didn't leave a will. You know what I mean? He didn't have any children. He didn't have a wife. So if y'all want to fight over his estate or whatever, like he's gone. You know what I'm saying? It's like he
There's
didn't
no
have to leave
worries
a
for
will.
him.
Yeah, yeah. People are like, oh, it becomes a mess. What becomes a mess? You bury the person. They have money, have life insurance. You bury them. You want us to take the state wants to take the stuff, but what is people want the stuff? People want the thing. Oh, they should have left this. Well, if they wanted to leave it to you, they would have wrote a will
Right,
if they thought it was that important. You know what I mean? People go through
right.
this whole thing. Oh, they left without a will. So what? Hey,
Yep. And
whatever.
sometimes
They're
people
gone.
purposely do that because they're
They
like,
do.
I'm not, I didn't intend to leave it to you in the first place. And maybe I just didn't want to ever tell you that. So there you
Let
go.
you figure it out. I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? You can figure it out. Now, if you have children and you have a husband, that's different. But
Yeah.
if you don't have nobody,
Yeah. You don't owe it to anybody.
no, okay,
But
y'all figure it out. Or if I gave you a whole bunch of money before I left here,
I've done my part.
I've done my part.
If you didn't hold on to any of it and you squandered all of it, I've done my part.
and you don't have to pay inheritance taxes on it either. Because you should give it to them before they die, so they don't have to pay the inheritance tax.
Right.
Also, so
Well,
they got to figure that out.
I really pray, that we all in these days, in these months, 2022, um, you don't require it doesn't require a new you, because you can't become a new you. You can become
Nope.
a better you,
Exactly.
right? Because we are here already. We're not going to be reborn and get to start all over. We are not, we can't reinvent who we are, but we
Mm-mm.
can improve on who we are.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
We can
Change
be
is
better
good.
to ourselves. We can be better to other people. We can learn to do inventory and figure out who, what, and needs to be let go from our
Mhm.
lives, or who needs to let us go from their lives, whichever way you want to look at it, right?
Exactly.
What things we need to surrender
Hmm.
ourselves to, meaning there's
But some
some
of us
things
need to surrender a lot.
that we can't change, right? There's some things we
Mhm.
cannot change, we cannot control. That's what the serenity prayer is all about.
That's
So
right.
seeking God to ask, give me peace, God, where I can't find it, where I don't have
Mhm.
answers. Because really we're disturbed in our peace because we don't have answers, or we don't have a
Mhm.
solution to what we think we ought to be
That's true.
able to do.
Absolutely. Hmm.
So
You
just
gotta know who you are. People
right,
like don't like know. You need to know who you are,
yeah, and
and that's I mean,
and whose you are, but
yeah,
whose
and
you
who you
are.
are. You're a child of God.
Yeah.
And but
So
people don't
center.
know, like exactly. A lot of people still, you can see, like even people, in our age group, 50s and even early 60s, they still don't know who they are.
Right.
And you can see, like some people will probably leave this world not knowing who they are,
Right.
you know. And
And
it's
not living
important.
your full purpose.
Exactly, which
Yeah.
is so true. Which
Yeah.
is true. Yeah.
So take some time this weekend, right? Because I'm doing it for myself. So I just encourage you to take some time this weekend to center, to
Read a
really
great book. Turn the
read,
TV off.
exactly,
Read a
and
book.
take a break off of social media. Oh my God, take a
Oh,
break.
absolutely.
Like take a break. Take a break from
Yeah.
social media, take a break from the news, take a break. Just take a break.
I,
Take
yeah,
some
I took a break from the
find
news for
time,
like 30
find
years. I
time to
haven't watched the
inhale,
news.
find time to really inhale, exhale, and
Mhm.
find something that helps you center, whatever that is for you, right?
Yeah.
And just start to focus on your becoming.
Those are old music. I was
You know,
listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire last weekend. I had
nice,
the Commodores. It was like, wow. I was
nice.
just like, it was nice. It was nice. You know, chill.
Well, well, I hope that we really blessed you guys today. I feel, and not because I'm talking, and not because Steph was talking. I just really realized that the more I am able to release, um,
Express yourself.
yes, express yourself. But y'all know what I say. Let me talk out loud so I can hear myself
And
think.
hear myself think.
More of us need to talk out loud so you can hear
That's
yourself
true.
think.
It's so
Because
true.
that is where we interact with our inner self, our
Mhm.
true self, our heart self. Um, and when we do that, we become a better self. So want to
It's
thank
so
you all
true.
so much for joining us today. Steph, any final words?
Be happy. Really, really find that in being happy, being happy with everything that you have.
Yes,
I just I thank God for a roof over my head, the heat in my house. Thank you,
yes, Lord.
Jesus,
The
and
food in
that
the
beautiful, like,
refrigerator.
exactly, the shower, the nice warm shower. It's like it's all those things. You have to
Yes,
be really, really grateful for all that you have because we don't
yes.
have to have it. And
Nope,
some people don't have it.
nope.
A car, if you have a car to drive you from point A to point B, thank you, Jesus.
Yep,
And if you were
yep,
able to get up and dress yourself this
yep,
morning, you did not need help, that's a blessing. Because
yep.
some people had a stroke and will never be able to do that ever again in their life, you
Correct.
know. And it's like we have to, like, it's the smallest things, that we need to be grateful for, and they make a big difference in our life.
That it does.
As we know, like, even temporary things, when you X amount of months pregnant, you can't put your own shoes on. It's not a
Yeah.
but that situation is temporary. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? What about when people that happens and it's a permanent state for them? And be grateful for a sound mind because mental
Yes.
illness is real. And a lot of people are running around here chasing their tails because of mental illness, know they have it, don't want to get help. People know they have it, not trying to help them, and then they send them out into the world, and then you get into a relationship with them.
Yeah.
Then you procreate with it. So all these things we have to be grateful for all the things we have every single day, not
Yes.
just today, but every single day. And what I think that it's not being such followers. You know, learn to be a leader.
Yeah.
People
Unfollow
follow.
some people, as a matter of fact. Unfollow some people.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because all people aren't good people to follow. And
Unfollow
you
some
never,
people.
and the
Yeah.
idolatry, oh, you gotta stop worshiping human beings. That's the
Yep.
worst.
That that's
Our
that's
God is
the
a,
that's
our
the
God is a jealous
downfall
God.
of being human. We create we create
Hmm.
these
These false
thrones of
prophets,
people,
false
and
prophets that we
yeah,
create.
be
Yep. And
careful.
here we go. You have to be even like because they're men. Men are flawed.
We all
They're
are.
not
That's
perfect. We're
yeah.
not, we're not,
We're
we're
not
not, we're
perfect.
not perfect. Not at
Yeah.
all. So why would you
No.
follow somebody and, like, even if they're it's like same thing. We will like to think all our children are perfect, even those little tiny babies. Well, you have to like tell them, like, look, that's not funny. When I used to
Yeah.
nurse my son, he used to like to bite my nipple. I'm like, stop biting me. I mean, he's a
You're
little
right.
baby. But
Ha.
I mean, I'm just saying, you got to check a baby. So you don't think you have to check a human
Absolutely.
being? You got to check them too. So
Yeah.
we know we need to learn to check. I think you love and not fear. When you check people, it changes everything. If there's something going on in your church and you don't like what's going on, they need to be checked.
No, well, I think if you start checking yourself, everything else will fall in place.
Oh, absolutely. Because either you'll fall in
So
step or you'll fall out. But you definitely have to check yourself. But yeah, you're right, because a lot of people don't check themselves. You
right.
know what I mean? I can say what I want, do what I want, it's okay. But you're not, most of those people like that, you're not ready for the ramifications of your actions.
Yeah,
Because for every action, there's a reaction.
absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for joining us today. Um, we have really enjoyed you all. I really really enjoyed talking to you today, Steph. It was, I mean, not that I don't, I always enjoy talking to you. I don't know. Today just feels different. It's just, I just feel like, change is
Well,
coming.
it lightened up, you was able
Yeah,
to,
yeah,
I know,
yeah. Change is
release
coming.
some stuff.
Yeah, change is coming. So
Absolutely.
again, you can find us, of course, on Spotify. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Apple. Share, share. Um, you can leave your comments. We appreciate them as well.
Absolutely.
Um, yeah, you can find us. You can reach us. You can email us also at uh, the autopsy of her
What's
at
up, Tim?
gmail.com. If you'd like to be a guest on our show, also, if you have something that's really pressing and you'd like us to talk about it, or you'd like to join us to talk about it, again, email us at the autopsy of her at gmail.com. I can be reached at I do love coaching at gmail.com. So, you can find me on Facebook as well, Steph.
You can find me on Facebook. You also find me on my mentor.life/Stephanie Deani Green. And you can find me on the autopsy of her, healing, evolving, and resiliency.
Yes. So we thank
Oh,
you
we're
all.
on Apple too.
Yes. So
Yes.
we really appreciate you guys. Have a great weekend. Find some time to center this weekend. Find some time to just be, just to be
Exactly. Just
and
big.
be.
Oh, but also, Iris and I are both realtors. So,
Oh,
if you
yes.
need a house, or you need to sell a
Yeah.
house. I'm in New Jersey. She's in
Right. And
Atlanta,
I'm in
Georgia.
Atlanta.
And we're here for
Oh,
your
and I
real
forgot,
estate
we didn't
needs.
tell you. And we're both life coaches in case you haven't figured that part out. We're also life coaches. So
Exactly.
as you can see,
Exactly.
we do a good job too of coaching ourselves. So just that should let you know we don't exempt ourselves for having to be checked and be centered and learn how to
Not
be.
at all. I'm a
So
I'm a style coach and a divorce coach.
okay. Well, we
And your
love you
coach, what?
guys. I love you,
Iris,
honey
what type of
bunny.
coach are you?
Oh, so I'm I'm a life coach, and I also I can style. I've not done it. That's Steph's thing. I kind of let her do that part, but I'm open to it. We've been talking about it.
Yes, we have.
So but we are excited about 2022. We have so many things that we are talking about doing individually and collectively, and I just want to leave you all with that. That is the thing I think we all should just be focusing on. Just again, being a better version of yourself and figuring
That's right.
out what makes you at peace with your life, with your life, because you are the person who lives with you every day.
Each and every day,
Each and
you
every
know.
day. So you are your first real friend. So let's learn how to be good to yourself. All right. We love you
I'm gonna
guys.
say this:
What?
check yourself before you wreck yourself.
Hey,
Have
amen.
a good weekend.
Have a good weekend.
All
I love you, honey
right,
bunny.
you too, honey bunny. I love you, honey bunny.
Love you. Hold on. Wait, what's going on here?